Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. The Greensboro City Attorney's Office welcomes a familiar face in the local and state legal community to its team. Judge Laura Cubbage has joined the City of Greensboro as a Deputy City Attorney. Cubbage said joining the Greensboro City Attorney's Office affords me an opportunity to learn a whole new area of law. I am eager to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the community by fostering transparency in city governance and municipal law. Cubbage will provide legal representation for the city's public safety departments, as well as overseeing lobbying efforts on behalf of the city. Her years on the bench will be instrumental, as this role involves collaborating with local attorneys and community leaders on a daily basis. City Attorney Chuck Watts said this marks the first time a former Superior Court judge will serve as a member of the city's legal team. Judge Cubbage has an impressive track record as an attorney, and the residents of Greensboro will benefit from her legal acumen and commitment to public service. Prior to joining the city, Cubbage served in a number of judicial roles, including Assistant District Attorney in Guilford County, Assistant Attorney General in the North Carolina Department of Justice, and District Court Judge. In 2018, former Governor Roy Cooper appointed Cubbage to serve as a North Carolina Superior Court Judge in Judicial District 24A. Cubbage is a graduate of the University of North Carolina School of Law and North Carolina A&T State University. Take the pledge to conserve water during the 14th Wyland National Mayor's Challenge for Water Conservation this month. This national community service campaign challenges residents and communities to pledge to use water more efficiently, reduce utility costs, reduce pollution, save energy, and enhance community health. Residents are encouraged to join the campaign and take the pledge. Participants in winning cities are eligible to win hundreds of prizes. Last year, the challenge awarded more than $50,000 in eco-friendly prizes to nearly 300 residents across the country. Examples include $3,000 toward home utility bills, water-saving fixtures, and other prizes. The campaign also offers opportunities for students from thousands of schools to make water conservation pledges that directly impact their city's ranking. Greensboro Mayor Nancy Vaughn said sustainability and environmental stewardship are priorities for keeping the green in Greensboro. Water conservation is part of this focus. That's why I'm once again asking our residents to join me in taking this pledge to demonstrate how the Gate City values our natural resources. The challenge, which encourages mayors nationwide to participate, runs from today through April 30th. The Greensboro City Council declared the month of April as Wyland National Mayor's Challenge for Water Conservation Month to inspire community participation. For more information about the challenge and to sign up to take the pledge, visit the Wyland website. The City of Greensboro will host a series of community budget sessions in each City Council district. These sessions will provide an overview of how the city's annual budget is developed prior to being adopted. Attendees can participate in an interactive activity to learn more about the City Council's priorities. The 2025 budget sessions will take place on the following days. District 1 on Monday, April 28th at 6 p.m. at Barber Park Event Center. District 2 on Tuesday, April 22nd at 6 p.m. at Peeler Recreation Center. District 3 on Wednesday, April 23rd at 5:30 p.m. at Sale Center Great Hall at the Greensboro Science Center. District 4 on Tuesday, April 22nd at 6 p.m. at Lindley Recreation Center. District 5 on Thursday, May 1st at 6 p.m. at Griffin Recreation Center. For convenience, the public is encouraged to attend any session, even if it's not in their district. For ADA information or assistance, contact ADA Coordinator Gary Canapino at 336-373-2723. To review the city budget, visit the city's website. Cone Health has partnered with the city to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Following these tips is an easy way to help each of us improve our quality of life. Let's take a moment to check out today's news for your health.
Dr. Raymond Akuba, family medicine and sports medicine physician. Before starting any exercise routine, it's important to talk with your specific doctor, your primary care physician, to review your plans moving forward and making sure that what you have set up and what your goals are align with what they would recommend from a health standpoint. So if we are going to be exercising for a long period of time in the heat, I would recommend ensuring adequate hydration before the activity. So earlier in the day, adjusting the intensity down some can be helpful. Also, having frequent breaks can be helpful too, to allow for cooling periods during those times in between any bouts of increased intensity. When it comes to any electrolyte supplements, utilizing the common ones out there, Gatorade and whatnot, that can help with replenishing any dehydration we may have, those can be helpful. Typically in high temperature workouts, we want to be able to allow the body to cool itself off. It does so primarily with the sweating, which allows for evaporative cooling, and so as the sweat evaporates, so we can cool off. So lighter clothing can be helpful to facilitate this. If it's short sleeve shorts, that allows for more of that evaporation to take place. Certainly if we are going to be in the sun, having something in place to do as far as sunscreen to allow for some protection. If it's during a period of time where we know that temperatures are going to be high and we want to gradually acclimate ourselves to that type of weather, really recommend doing so over at least a 1 to 2 week period. Being able to incorporate indoor exercise can certainly be very beneficial as well. Pool-related activity that is able to help with keeping us cool, or indoor with an indoor gym. If we are looking to get into exercising now, and despite the fact that it might be very hot outside, starting any routine that we're able to start is important. And so even if we're able to incorporate a little bit of walking in the morning or evening, maybe when it's not as hot, those can be helpful to kind of get us started on that journey to incorporating more exercise into our weekly routine.
The city has lane closures in place on key downtown streets, and be sure to register for a free native plant available at Earth Day. We'll have those stories and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. As you drive downtown, you'll notice the left 2 lanes of South Green Street from West Market Street to West Washington Street will be closed each day from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. until Friday, May 30th. This closure is due to waterline replacement work taking place in conjunction with the lane closure already in place along North Green Street as part of the streetscape project. In other road project news, construction that began in late February on West Market Street has been extended to Wednesday, April 30th. The left 2 lanes of West Market Street from Mendenhall Street to Cedar Street will be closed each day from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. for Phase 4 construction of the downtown Greenway. Once the improvements have been completed in this area, the far left lane of West Market Street will be permanently closed. Signs will be in place for an extended period to shift traffic until final paving, markings, and signage are added. Motorists should expect delays in the work zones and use alternate routes. Work schedules depend on weather conditions and availability of equipment and materials. To learn more about the lane and road closures and to subscribe to receive email notifications about upcoming road work, visit the city's website. The Office of Sustainability and Resilience is accepting registration for its upcoming native plant giveaway. This will take place at the annual Earth Day event from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, April 26th at Keeley Park. The first 500 people to register will receive a free milkweed plant, which is an important host for monarch butterflies and a popular nectar plant for a wide variety of pollinating insects. The native plants will be on a first-come, first-served basis. Native plants occur naturally in an area, helping to maintain, restore, and protect the health and biodiversity of local ecosystems. They support native pollinators, birds, and other wildlife, and require less maintenance, in addition to being part of the historical and cultural heritage of the community. In contrast, invasive plants disrupt the native ecosystems and displace native plants and animals. For more information about the Earth Day event, visit the city's website. Creative Greensboro welcomes poet and storyteller Keela Rogers to the Greensboro residency for original works. Her series, titled Overcoming by the Spoken Word, is open until Monday, April 28th. The series will include writing workshops, open mic night, creative movement sessions, and discussions. Rogers aims to provide a space for women to share personal stories of overcoming adversity, fostering a sense of community through the power of testimony and creative expression. The Grow residency will culminate in a live podcast recording where participants will share their works they've developed through the workshops, complemented by visual arts and dance. Rogers is a mother, educator, birth doula, reproductive justice advocate, and spoken word artist. She believes in the power of words to affect change and that education is a key component to freedom. A graduate of North Carolina A&T State University, Rogers has taught in Guilford County schools for 16 years. The Grow residency space is located next to the Davie Street entrance of the Greensboro Cultural Center, located at 200 North Davie Street. To learn more about the Grow residency, visit the city's website. Coming up after the break, we'll check in with the Human Rights Department for the latest happenings with the International Advisory Committee. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Giving a voice to the immigrant and refugee population is the purpose of the International Advisory Committee. This group of volunteers serve as advisors to the City Council. Joining me now to tell us about the Advisory Committee and its election process is Jody Stanley. She is the city's International Support and Language Access Coordinator. Hello, Jody. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thanks.
So tell us about the International Advisory Committee for those who aren't familiar. Who makes up this committee and why is their work so important?
So, the city has boards and commissions. In 2008, the Greensboro City Council created the International Advisory Committee to serve as a voice. It serves in a capacity as any other board or commission, but it serves as the voice and kind of a bridge to City Council to be kind of a microphone, a megaphone from the community to the city, and vice versa, to make sure that the community feels like they're connected and so that there's rapport and trust building. The reason I think it's really important is understanding a little bit about Greensboro's history. Back in the 1980s, Greensboro became the primary refugee resettlement for the Montagnard, what we call here in the U.S., the Montagnard people of Vietnam. They were the folks who supported the U.S. military during the Vietnam War.
Sure.
And ever since then, we've become a really significant refugee resettlement community. We now have over 120 languages spoken in Guilford County schools, and today 14% of our residents speak a language other than English at home, and we're foreign born. So that's over 1 out of every 10 people that live in Greensboro. So I love the fact that we have a representative body that can do that community building, that trust building between the city and the community.
So tell us about accomplishments that the IAC has actually done that people may be familiar with.
Yeah, the list is long, right? But I think some of the most significant that stand out to me in my years of working with them were during COVID, the IAC established weekly meetings to improve communication with the international community. Here's what was happening, Carla, is many people in the international community, because they weren't receiving information in their language, they didn't even know there was a pandemic afoot. We heard stories of refugees that were going into work, taking Tylenol beforehand if they had a fever, because workplaces were testing to see if you had a high fever, they would send you home for 2 weeks. And refugees couldn't afford that. So they didn't understand the severity of the issue. And to be honest, many of them had lived through much more severe issues back at home in their countries of origin with fewer resources. Think of the Ebola outbreaks, right? So they had already survived something much more severe. They weren't aware of the many resources that were available. So when the IAC started meeting, surprisingly, what we thought they needed was actually not at all what they needed. Primarily, once they received information about the pandemic in their language, we actually found out that they needed food, because when they couldn't go to work for 2 weeks, that meant they didn't have income to feed their family, right? So I think the second thing that was really exciting was more recent. We heard from women in the Muslim community, they wanted to swim. And because of parameters that they have around their faith and culture, and not being able to swim without being covered, and modesty concerns, as well as swimming in the presence of men, there wasn't a space for them to do that. So the IAC really spent about 6 months in deep conversation with Parks and Recreation and YMCA, And we found a space for them to host swimming, and it's the best thing, Carla.
Wow.
They get together every Wednesday night.
Yes.
They pay $1
Something
to
we
swim.
take for granted.
Something we take for granted.
Yes.
And they absolutely love it. It's a really amazing experience for them.
And I'm so glad the city was able to make that
Yeah.
connection. So representation is important. They have elections. The group, this committee was established in 2008, but they didn't start the elections until 2015. Why the gap?
So in 2008, like you said, it was created. In 2015, what happened was the IAC was initially a subcommittee of the Human Rights Commission.
Okay.
And I love telling this story because I think it's a testament to the power of collective voice and the power of advocacy. So in 2014, the then chair of the Human Rights Commission appointed a chair of the IAC that was U.S. born.
Okay.
And the international community, and we have really strong and vocal immigrant leaders here, they came to the city and they said no. We said we have plenty of leaders within our community that have a voice, that are well qualified to serve in this capacity. And they actually came and brought this model to us. They wanted an election model where there are now 5 leadership positions. The elections are held every 2 years, so people serve for 2-year terms. And it is the only one of its kind that we know of in the country, Carla, and it is so incredibly powerful.
Wow.
It's promoting civic engagement, getting people involved. We have seen people who have served on the IAC go on to serve. One was the chief of staff at Guilford County Schools. One ran for city council. So we're seeing this not just as a way to give people a leadership role. These folks are taking this and running with it and growing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really incredible.
Before we run out of time, tell us, where is the election taking place, when, and how can people cast a vote?
So really exciting news this year. We're combining the International Advisory Committee election with World Refugee Day, which we have never done this before, so we'll see how it works. But we're combining all of our resources. It's going to be on Saturday, June 21st, and it's going to be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And anyone that lives within the city limits of Greensboro and is over the age of 14 can come out and vote.
Okay.
Yeah, immigration status is not a requirement at all. We don't require ID, so you do have to sort of register your name and address. And we take very minor information from you, but you can come out to Hester Park on June 21st and cast your ballot.
It's a very active day, so I think that's a great combination.
There's a lot going on. Soccer game, resource fair, international performances. It's a blast. We have food trucks outside. It's incredible.
Wonderful. And we'll remind folks leading up to June about this. So we thank you for coming in and giving us a preliminary review, but also telling us about the International Advisory Committee and how they work, and the work that they do being as important as it is to make those connections with not just City Council, but the community at large.
Yeah.
So do come back. I'm sure we'll see you again before June, and we will talk about this and other human rights programs.
That's awesome. Thanks, Carla.
Thank you, Jody.
Yeah, sure thing.
Stay tuned for some interesting and useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That segment is coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact you and our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. These City Council meetings take place in the Katie Dorset Council Chamber on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building, located at 300 West Washington Street. The public is allowed in person, but only in a limited capacity. Those who choose not to be in the building can participate virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Cablecast. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. The Greensboro City Council unanimously approved an ordinance amending the Nussbaum Housing Partnership revolving fund budget. This provides $571,000 for the Summer Doorway Pallet Shelter Program. The city will begin relocating the pallet shelters from Pomona Park to the former Regency Inn site on North O'Henry Boulevard. The 32-person pallet homes are being moved to accommodate the Challenger Sports League, which uses the athletic fields for the baseball games at Pomona Park. The move extends the Doorway Project to the spring and summer months for the first time since the program's inception. Letitia McNeil, director of the Community Safety Department, said the needs of the unhoused do not go away when the weather gets warmer. Moving the pallet shelters will ensure essential sheltering is provided year-round. The relocation is temporary and will not affect the city's long-term plans for redeveloping the former Regency Inn. The Community Safety Department oversees several initiatives that provides resources for people experiencing homelessness. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first prepare to mark your calendars for the places to go and things to do on the town.
I'm Dave, and here are some special events happening this week on the town. The Greensboro Symphony hosts Thomas Flippin and DJ Spar for a performance of Brubeck's vibrant double guitar concerto, April 11th at the Tanger Center. The program begins with Jesse Montgomery's energetic strum and concludes with the drama of Tchaikovsky's Symphony No. 5. Find tickets to this night of dynamic rhythms and emotional intensity online at tangercenter.com. Singer-songwriter Stephen Wilson Jr. brings his Son of Dad Tour 2025 to Piedmont Hall, April 11th. Wilson draws upon indie rock, grunge, and country to create a distinct sound influenced by artists diverse as The National, Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp, and Nirvana. Find tickets online at gsocomplex.com. West Market Street United Methodist Church hosts an Egg Hunt for Good April 12th at LeBauer Park. Bring a non-perishable food item to benefit local pantries. Kids can hunt for eggs on the park's great lawn using a scavenger map and then trade in the eggs for treats to take home. There's also an egg hunt for adults. Learn more at westmarketchurch.org. Dance the night away with the City Parks and Recreation Department's new dance series, Groovin' on the Greenway, April 12th. Explore the importance of movement and expression with the Zadwa Dance Company. See a performance and then learn an Afro-Caribbean line dance. Visit greensboro-nc.gov to register for this free event. Stay tuned to FYI Weekly for more happenings on the town.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. The Human Rights Department will host its annual Fair Housing Month luncheon. The event will take place at 12 p.m. on Tuesday, April 22nd in the Dees Ballroom at North Carolina A&T State University. This year's event is held in conjunction with North Carolina A&T State University's Transcending Leaders Cohort Program. Tickets are $35 per person or $280 for a table of 8. The deadline to purchase tickets online is Monday, April 14th. This year's theme is Housing, a Wicked Problem. It explores solutions to eliminate housing discrimination. Wicked problems are complex social or cultural issues that can be unpredictable and difficult to solve. The program will feature a panel discussion among local researchers, housing professionals, and community advocates. The North Carolina A&T State University Student Center is located at 1403 John Mitchell Drive. For more information about the Fair Housing Month luncheon, visit the city's website or contact Paula Washington, Outreach and Education Coordinator, at 336-373-2038. Coming up after the break is our Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout out. This week's shout out goes to the Parks and Recreation Department. Staff will teach a nature preschool program for kids ages 2 to 6. They will meet on Thursday, April 17th and Thursday, May 22nd. Each session runs from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and touches on a different nature-themed topic. Activities include reading, followed by arts and crafts, before heading outside to explore the park. The program will be canceled in the event of inclement weather. Registration is $5 per session, and you can register online. Way to go, Parks and Recreation. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings, which airs on 90.1 FM, 100.7 FM, and 90.5 FM. Be sure to download both weekly podcasts, Talk City Greensboro and Talk City in Espanol. Plus, GTN is streaming on Cablecast. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.